Superfans, we are so pumped to be back on the road and bringing you another on-location episode. And this time it is from a legendary comedy film from 1993, sometimes described as Harold Ramis's masterpiece. Starring Bill Murray, I'm of course talking about Groundhog Day.
Watch out for that first step, it's a doozy.
We're headed about an hour outside of Chicago to the town of Woodstock, Illinois. Harold was looking for a quintessential small town that would represent Punxsutawney, but obviously not really Punxsutawney, where the real groundhog resides. And this town had everything and more Harold Ramis wanted. Not only did it visually represent all that he wanted, but it was about the people. Now it has become a sought-after location for superfans alike, and you're going to see some of that throughout this episode.
Can you tell us where Gobbler's Knob is?
What I love, as soon as I get out of the car, you just see a town that embraces their place in pop culture. Woodstock Willie right here, a sculpture of Orson Welles, who claims to have been from Woodstock himself, and then this great mural of Dick Tracy, which Chester Gould, the creator, was from here in Woodstock. But what brings us here is the story of Phil Connors, cynical, self-centered weatherman who begrudgingly has to accept the assignment, once again heading to Punxsutawney to cover Groundhog Day, a day that he would rather not even be a part of, and ends up changing him forever. I mean, look right here. So we've arrived, and we're walking up here to Woodstock Square, which was pretty much the quintessential town square that Harold Ramis wanted for this. But there's not really a square like this in Punxsutawney. But this was the place that he wanted to really embody that whole celebration for Groundhog Day. And this is where it all happened. In fact, most of the movie ends up here at some point. Celebrations, the polka music. It is so crazy to be here right now, because just in this one spot, you really get the scope of how close everything is. I mean, right here, of course, the gazebo where the snowball fight takes place. You've got Ned's Corner right there, the Tip Top Cafe, and then over there you've got the bank where Phil robs the armored car. I mean, it's all right here. And then over here you've got the so-called Pennsylvania Hotel. It could be a little bit overwhelming with all of this around us, but I know the best place for us to start, and that's Ned's Corner. Let's go.
Phil? Hey, Phil? Phil? Phil Connors? Phil Connors, I thought that was you.
You know, you realize your character has a bit of an impact in a movie when you have a corner and a plaque named after it. Right here is Ned's Corner, of course, named after insurance salesman Ned Ryerson, who annoyingly kicks off every day with Phil Connors, and at some point he just reaches the end of his rope. In fact, that reminds me, I need to call my insurance.
Curtis? Curtis Templeton? Is that you? Hey, Curtis! Curtis, it's me! Ned Ryerson! You remember? Needle-Nosed Ned the Head. Come on, boy! Case Western High!
Oh my gosh, Steven Tobolowsky, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, don't you say you don't completely remember me.
Oh my gosh, what a treat! Thanks for joining us here back in Woodstock. I don't know if you ever thought this would happen, but what is it like when you've got a corner named after you and your character?
You know, they called me back here to christen this corner. I was back.
Really?
I came back to Woodstock to christen this corner, and I don't remember if we actually hit it with a bottle of champagne.
So now, I mean, when you've shared so much over the years of your experience, so many great stories, but I thought maybe just a couple quick questions, because even though this movie has been around for so long, you were actually not here. You were here not too long ago, right?
I was here not too long ago. I was here right before the beginning of the end of the world, when Bill Murray and I came here to shoot the Groundhog Day commercial.
Now, I got to tell you, we've only been here for maybe a couple hours, and the warmth, the people, the town itself is so welcoming, and you've left an impression. So many people talk so well about you. What is it about this place that kind of draws people in?
Well, one thing is, well, you mentioned it, the people. The people of Woodstock, they're as great and welcoming and friendly as they appear to be on the outside.
I'll tell you, Stephen, here's what I know about you, is that you are a storyteller beyond stories, and you love just to sit and talk. So
I'm thinking maybe you've been so kind to us here. Maybe we should hang out for a little bit more.
maybe somewhere else, I don't know, maybe your place?
Hey, sure, why not? Why not? The burgers are on you.
Burgers are on me, and I don't know maybe what you've got planned for the rest of the day, but maybe you could call in sick?
That's the one damn scene in the movie that Bill improvised. You know, everyone says that we had to have improvised, but that scene was not in the script, and that caught me completely by surprise.
Oh, that's so good, man. All right, well, let's take this conversation a little further elsewhere, and we'll talk a little bit more about Groundhog Day.
Okay.
See you kids in a bit.
Uncut.
I don't know where you're headed, but can you call in sick?
And what better way to see Ned than to take that first step, which is a doozy. Man, that first step is a doozy. Hey, Steven. Hey, Steven. Thanks for having us here at your house. I mean, super gracious of you. Why don't we sit down and talk for a little bit?
Well, why not? Otherwise, you're going to have to explain to the police what you're doing here.
Here, a quick transport from Woodstock to your lovely garden here, and beautiful weather, so we can't beat that.
No.
I think it would be good listen, from my opinion, there's a lot of people that over the years we've heard this whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. I firmly believe it's like 3 degrees of Stephen Tobolowsky. Because just running down everything that you have got to be a part of and bring your talent to, you start to realize everybody's had to act with Stephen at some point,
Yeah.
you know. So why don't you tell us a little bit how you ended up into acting?
Well, I always wanted to be an actor, even when I was a little kid. And I wanted to be an actor because, for the strangest of reasons, that I thought monsters were real. But I thought if I became an actor, I could hang out with Frankenstein and the Wolfman and Dracula, and we could all be friends. And that was what propelled me into acting. Life in this business is that it's filled with enormous ups and downs, things you can't predict or prepare for, absolutely great fortune and absolute disaster. And look what we have here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a crow kitty here. This is exactly what we need to make this interview sing. Crow kitty, come on over here. This is not my cat.
Oh.
This is a neighborhood cat that he's so dear, but he comes over all the time,
Just hangs out.
hangs out with me.
Well, why
sits
wouldn't
here.
you want to hang out here? for
No,
crying out loud?
he hangs out here.
Well, two things. I've heard it talked about being like failing up
like how you fail upwards. Like there's people automatically think it's a drop down, but they talk about how when you fail up. Like what's the learning, and then how, like kind of what you're saying.
Again, to quote Shakespeare, the play is the thing, not the fame is the thing.
Right.
If what you make is most important is the story. What is the story I'm telling? And you could be telling a great story like in Memento or in Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
A great story.
Yeah.
Or you could be telling a silly story like Caveman Carl on Alice. You could be telling a story that doesn't have a lot of weight to it.
Right.
The story is always foremost. And if you submit to the story, you give your heart and soul and mind to the story, good things will eventually happen to you.
Yeah. Right.
Take a look at Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Right? So I get offered, after all of this TV stuff, a regular role on TV to play the Tool Time guy in Home Improvements with Tim Allen.
I was hoping we'd talk about this.
I audition, I go to the network audition, I get it. I am going to be on a TV show. Now, we don't know that Home Improvements is going to be a success or not. They didn't even know exactly when they were going to shoot it. It was a huge deal. The problem was my wife was pregnant at the time, and I had to sign a contract saying that I would not work on any other show except Home Improvements whenever they got around to shooting it. And they were not sure if they were going to start shooting Home Improvements in 10 days or 10 months. And I said, I can't do that. I can't not work for 10 months. And so I turned down what I always was trying to hope for, of being a regular on a show, which turned out to be enormously successful. I would have been a multi-millionaire. However, because I was free and didn't have any job, I was able to work at various things for that year. The baby came along, then I got Groundhog Day. If I had been doing Tool Time guy on Home Improvements, I would not have been Ned Ryerson in Groundhog Day. So that, in a way, is failing up.
Yep.
So I went down and met Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. And Harold Ramis wanted to introduce me to Bill, and Bill kind of pushed Harold aside and said, wait a minute. And Bill goes, show me what you're going to do. And Bill is a big guy. He's intimidating. And so I started saying, well, I'm going to go like, whoa, I started doing all that. He says, okay, you could do that. That's funny. You could do that. And we do that. And there were about 500 people from the town watching where we were going to shoot, right? And Bill looks out at him and says, you know what these people need? These people need donuts. I'm going, what? Follow me. And I followed Bill to the donut shop on the town square where we were going to shoot meeting Bill. And Bill comes in and puts a wad of cash on the table there and says, give me every donut, every muffin, every Danish, every cruller, whatever you've got, let me have. And Bill starts stacking up these boxes of donuts in my arms. And we have all this, and we walk out of the donut shop, and Bill starts throwing the donuts out like fish to the seals. And the crowd starts cheering. And I got to say, they're like 500 people, and they're roaring now.
That's awesome.
And I'm thinking, like, what a brilliant move on Bill's part. In that 1 second, he created a bond between us and the town.
Yep.
Complete goodwill, and everybody got donuts.
Yep.
Have you ever seen any of the footage of the other days?
Well, I saw the dailies.
Oh, you watched the dailies, yeah.
I would watch the dailies to see. That was back in the time when I did watch dailies.
So, I mean, you guys really went back and filmed it if it was snowing. Like, you really
Yes.
did. Oh, my gosh.
In the original script, there were about 9 street scenes
Yeah.
of varying lengths and varying degrees as the day is repeated for Bill, and it ended up being, I think, like 4 maybe. And But Bill and I shot each one of those street scenes in different weather conditions. Last time I was at Woodstock before the end of the world, and holding the groundhog, and the mayor says to me in the clinches in the huddle, whatever you think the groundhog says to you, you say that the groundhog did not see his shadow. And I'm going, you mean this is rigged? This is fixed?
I was thinking the same thing.
This
It's
is
a
why-
hoax.
It's a hoax.
Stephen, thanks so much for your time. I mean, for bringing us to your lovely home and to be able to just kind of laugh, reminisce,
Yeah.
learn some things. I'm leaving here with, man, I'm walking away with some wisdom, which is great. But we have a lot more in this town that we want to see, the town that you and I have both come to love. Do you have something you want to share?
It is a love story about the perfection of the human soul.
I think what I love about this movie is it's just this whole think about how do you be better? How do you just become a better person?
Yes.
You shift the focus from yourself. You think about others well. You want to do well for others. You want
Right.
to be a good person.
All sorts of groups, cling to the message of Groundhog Day.
Like I said, Stephen, we're super grateful to be here at your home.
Yep.
Super grateful to have some time with you and laugh and tell stories. And now we're headed back to Woodstock. What an amazing time with Mr. Stephen Tobolowsky. Cue the wind. And yet there's still more of this town to experience. Dog barks. There's really only one way to experience all of it. This is the Woodstock Theater, also known as the Alpine Theater, where Phil and his date show up to watch Heidi 2 for at least the 100th time or more. A little movie magic. Right now, we're standing outside what was the Tip Top Cafe, where a ton of great moments happened from the movie. Looks a little different than it did back in '93, but there's a few things we can kind of position ourselves right here. This table where Phil and Rita had some conversations.
That's exactly what makes me so special. I don't even have to floss.
Over there, you had that tray drop. Hey, put that anywhere, pal.
It's real nice. Just put that anywhere, pal. Good save.
All those kinds of things. I mean, it's really different, but it's still great to be in one of these locations, and we got a lot more to look at. Let's go. Here at the bowling alley, looks exactly the same. We're here. Let's go inside, have some fun. Oh, yes. I wish you could be here right now because it is just like it was in the film. I mean, who doesn't love a local bowling alley? There's a great moment that actually ended up on the cutting room floor, and it's in some of the special features if you have it. But it's this great scene of Phil doing what he does, showing up probably after years of practicing here, becomes a pro bowler, and he bowls a 300 game. Now I'm going to try to do what Phil did.
That's a good ball. That's a good ball.
Just like Phil. Nailed it. My coach right over here. Give it up for him.
Some guys would look at this glass and they would say, that glass is half empty.
I'd say it's half full. So I'm up top here on the bell tower of the Woodstock Opera House, and it is quite a view. This is where the stuntman stood on the other side of this to do his fall into the airbag. But up here, you get some pretty amazing views of this amazing city of Woodstock. I'll follow you up. Headed up the stairs to the bell tower, known as the Pennsylvania Hotel. Now it is 11 always been the Opera House here in Woodstock. We're following our man Joe up all the way these stairs. Oh my gosh. Oh. It's a tight fit up here. Woo! Wow. Still going, huh? Okay. What's up, Steven? All right. Okay. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh my gosh. Watch my step indeed.
Shut that door, you're actually able to stand on it if you want.
Oh God, no, I don't think so. Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay. It's really high up here.
Yes, sir.
Woo! Here comes the drone. Wow. Too bad it's foggy. I bet you get some great views up here. Wow. Right here. Now in the Public House, which is a bar and restaurant actually in the basement of a building. I never would have thought that, because this is the location of the bar scenes from Groundhog Day. This is awesome. Like walking in, kind of stepping down, you got the low ceiling, and it really brings you in to feel right here, the bar from Groundhog Day. I think we should belly up, have that unique, very signature drink from Groundhog Day.
Sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist, please.
Sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist. The signature drink right here in this bar for this scene and this location. And I love this location and really all that transpires during these scenes right here, because this is really where Phil begins to realize Rita is the person for him, although Rita doesn't know it yet. In fact, he needs to do his best to earn her trust. And rightly so, because Rita is really the only person that continues to put up with Phil. She actually sees the good in Phil. And so Phil does his best to continue to show that to her. And while it's manufactured for a while, the moment it becomes who Phil is when the magic really happens. I mean, frankly, she's the one that actually even mentions the whole idea of deja vu.
There is something so familiar about this.
Hmm?
Do you ever have deja vu?
Didn't you just ask me that?
She brings about the reasons for maybe all the things. Phil trusted her because he shared with her the crazy idea that he was going through all this, and she believed him. So, I think it's only fitting. The next thing that needs to happen here is a toast to world peace. To world peace.
To world peace!
Oh, this is terrible.
That is awful.
Why would that be your favorite drink?
Now we're in the Moose Lodge just outside of the downtown square of Woodstock, and boom, I am now standing where Nancy, Rita, and Larry see Phil on stage. It's like everything is the same. It's like I'm seeing Phil on stage right here. And this is where they get completely astonished that Phil is this accomplished piano player with a band and everything. And this location, this is what I really love about this location. The floors are the same, the drapes are the same, the stage is the same. Obviously with the movie, they make it look a lot bigger, but this is the place. This is the place where really it's kind of the culmination of the whole film, because in this room now is everyone that Phil has come into contact with at some point along his path of becoming this different person. He's got the old ladies that he helped with the car. He's got the young couple that he's kind of helped brought them back together for their wedding and gives them the tickets to the wrestling event. He's got the mayor that he saved from their, choking to death on the meat. I mean, all of these people now that Phil has touched are in this room, and it's kind of this big moment where we now see Phil Connors in a completely different way.
Phil! What are you doing down here? Go on, get up there. I got $10 that says you're mine.
Well, the stage is set, and just kind of like Rita bid on Phil, maybe I should hop on stage and see what I can draw.
20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60,
$339.88.
I don't think we're going to accept any more bids. I think that's sold. The little lady for $339.88.
So we have seen a lot of this great town here in Woodstock, a lot of great locations, but we would be completely remiss if we didn't take some time to check out the place where it all happened, where all of this weird, eerie day started for Phil. From the morning cold shower, I Got You Babe, the guy at the top of the stairs, all feeling like some weird deja vu. And it all began right here at the Cherry Tree Inn Bed and Breakfast. Come on. You're probably wondering, like me, what this place looks like on the inside. And over the years, we've learned that while they used the interior of this place as inspiration, a lot of it was rebuilt in a warehouse not far from here. So let's go take a look. Oh, yes. This is absolutely perfect. And check this out. We've got a little collection over here of all kinds of memorabilia. Got, of course, the clock, right? And Cherry Street, which they actually renamed the street for the movie, Cherry Street, and now you've got the Cherry Street Inn Bed and Breakfast. And a lot of Ned's stuff here. I Got You Babe. This was one of the coffee mugs, I guess, that he drank out of from the diner. Some autograph stuff. Oh, this is awesome. I like that they just own it. I think, people are going to come here to experience Groundhog Day, and so what are you going to do? You're going to have the stuff that people love and want to use and see and really experience the whole thing. It's actually an 8-bedroom bed and breakfast now. This is the Magnolia Suite, which has the kind of iconic view right here. It's pretty awesome. There's the boys down there doing what they do. But that's the view right there. Look at them. Yahoos. Oh my gosh. Those guys. So what's really great about being in and around this bed and breakfast, it really kind of brings you right back to where Phil came face to face with this vortex of time warp. To think that he actually lived a full lifetime, some 30 to 40 years. And it's not far off when you look at it. He learned French, he learned how to ice sculpt, he learned the personal details of each and every person in this town. It's insane when you think about it, right? But that's what it took. It's what it took for an arrogant, cynical, self-centered weatherman who was just punching in the clock to do his job. It's what it took to shake him up a little bit. It's what it took to turn him from that cynical weatherman into a caring, loving, thinking about others kind of person. And that wouldn't have happened without this town, the town that was Puxtawney in the movie, but what we know as Woodstock. And after we've been here, we've experienced that too, because it's not just this vortex of time that changed everything. It was the people. It was the community. It was the people that showed up and showed him just as much love and compassion as he needed to be able to show to others. And we felt that. We've experienced it. It's what's made our trip here that much better. It's what makes us realize that a movie like Groundhog Day is worth all of us taking a little bit of a step into. It changes who we are. It realizes that other people are more important. It's what Beyond the Backlot does for us. It reminds us that it's the heart of the places that we go to, not just the studios and the backlots, but the places and the people, the quintessential small town America that not only made a difference in the life of Phil Connors, but can actually make a difference in you and me.
All right, it's done.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
All right.
Come on. See ya.